Who am I? I already introduced myself, but my name is Oshan. Um, I'm a DJ, I produce as well, and I play with turntables, and we call ourselves turntablists, right? Yeah, I'm very passionate about creating a unique identity with my sound. So whenever I'm playing, I want people to be able to recognize who's playing, even without seeing the DJ. That's one of the goals that I have. I'm currently based in Austin, been here for like 4 years now. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I've been DJing for about 2 years now, but I've been producing way longer than that. Constantly evolving my craft and technical skills. And back to the conversation that we're having today. One of the things I'm really passionate about is building a distinctive brand through the content that I post on social media. Next slide, please. Okay, now let's get serious. Ideas. Where do we get ideas from? I think the main message in getting ideas is listening to music very intentionally. We are DJs, we are not regular consumers of music. The way we listen to music should set us apart as DJs. So I like to say when I listen to music very actively and not passively. So when I listen to music, I'm actually using most of my consciousness to listen to the music and not necessarily as ambience or background music in which most people do. When I listen to music, I actually try to understand what's going on. I don't know, anybody produce here? Cool. When I started producing, one thing I started doing was I would listen to like music, but I would do it in isolation. I would only listen to like drums, or only pay attention to like the chord progression, or only pay attention to the melodies. We can listen to music in isolation. You know, it's just one of the things that we can do. That's what gives birth to ideas. So first things first, anybody know what a wordplay transition is? I'm sure everybody does, but show of hands. Wordplay transition. Okay, I don't have to explain what a wordplay is. Cool. For wordplays, when you listen to music, pay attention to lyrics. It's all in the lyrics. Lyrics gives ideas for wordplays. So, you know, these days you can actually go ask AI and be like, oh, I have this word. Find me songs. Yeah, I'm dead ass serious. Go on ChatGPT and give ChatGPT a phrase or a word, give it a genre, and it would find songs for you. But you can also do it by yourself. It's less efficient, but you can also do it that way. But anyways, there are tools to help you identify areas of creativity in the music that we listen to, right? So pay attention to lyrics. Pay attention to lyrics, very important if you want to get creative with your wordplays.
I have a question.
Yes.
When does wordplay become too corny because you're doing too much?
I think for me, you can't stress a wordplay too much. So that's like my rule of thumbs. If you're doing a wordplay, don't let it exceed 4 bars of the word that you're trying to transition with. If it exceeds 4 bars, it might start to feel a little corny. It might start to feel a little repetitive. So you want to do a wordplay in a way in which people understand what you're trying to do, which is why I said 4 bars is the limit. People understand that there's something going on with like a word, right? But it's not overstretched to the point where people are like, what is this guy doing? Yeah,
but
so.
not only that, in that scope, say you do 10 transitions and you do a wordplay 8 times, is that overkill?
I think so. I think the way we play as DJs, you have to put the crowd first. When you're playing a set in front of people, put the crowd first. And if you're putting the crowd first and not yourself first, it means that you're going to be more focused on playing good music, making sure the music is smooth, right? Every once in a while, throwing a transition there, throwing a transition here and there, catching people off guard, make them appreciate the art of what you're doing, right? But don't go too crazy with it. If I'm playing 10 songs, I can't do 8 wordplays in a row. I think that's crazy.
Can I answer that? Yeah.
very, very good piece of advice there. I would dovetail into one more thing. We wordplays. Don't play a song just for the sake of a wordplay, right? Play songs that you feel like people want to hear, but still has the idea in there, right? Don't play a song that only 2 people out of 200 might know because it has a nice wordplay in there.
I got something to say. I don't want to dilly off the conversation too much, but I do wonder about that. Like, yes, you want to play for the crowd, but yes, you want to play for the crowd, but I think sometimes people appreciate about a DJ. Like, part of your job is to expose people to new music. So I feel like that's okay to play something that everybody might not know.
Yeah, I do agree, and I think it's a very nuanced conversation, right? Like you might be playing a party rocking set. When you're playing a party rocking set, your set, your sets, like your set being a great set depends on being able to get the people to dance. Unfortunately, we live in a world where as much as DJs want to break new music, we want people to hear new stuff. It's sad that people come outside to hear songs that they know. So if I was playing a set for maybe selection, right? Yes, I would 100% put music in front of people that they've never heard before, and I can actually get as creative as I want with it. But if I'm playing an all the vibe set, all the vibes. No. If I'm playing an all the vibe set, you guys get the point. You guys get the point.
No, stop, time out. So can I in defense of my right? All the vibes is about giving all the vibes.
Yeah, no.
In certain nuance parties and certain niche parties like Groovies, Amapiano, Afro House, Schultz's Caribbean music, and all the vibes party, you should actually come to the party expecting to hear anything. Like you might hear Brian, you might hear dubstep, you might hear Boyan, you might hear Afrobeats, you might hear Amapiano, you might hear R&B, you might hear hip hop. So to add to actually what you say, to be honest, it is, and to what both of you say, it's context, it's where you are. There's certain clubs where your job is to keep them dancing and keep the crowd going or keep them buying at the bar. There's other places where you DJ and it's Sunday sessions, like, you gotta hear something you've never heard before. Soul lecture, you gotta hear something that you've never heard before. Ideally, for me, honestly, I think all DJs should try and play something that they've never heard before. I'm not saying in an hour set you're giving them flipping 45 minutes of songs they've never heard before, but only one song, I think that kind of also helps identify your personality as a DJ as well. So,
Real.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, I think you're trying to say, like, you need to understand and learn your environment, right? Because every environment is completely different. Small rooms, big rooms, medium rooms, bedrooms, but you need to know your environment and know the people that's in the environment, inside the room. That's number one before you can do anything, right? Because you can go to a room and tone play like the set's not gonna work. I mean, workplace not gonna work, right? You know what I mean? So you gotta know your room.
Exactly.
It comes back to literally what you said.
I think that's what he was
Deal
getting
with
at.
the crowd, you gotta put the crowd first.
Yes.
Know what the crowd's expecting and then deal with them.
I apologize for the all the vibes example. Let's put it this way. There are times when we play sets where we have a lot of creative freedom versus we're just trying to get people to dance. I think we can make that distinction. I think we all probably have experienced that before. But anyways, today's conversation sort of revolves around content. So let's kind of like shift back to just content. We can definitely talk more about how to execute a perfect set. But today is all about content. So let's dig back. Okay. Anybody know what a tone play transition is? Show of hands.
I like this. Half of them kind of know what it is. I kind of want to put my hand up. I think the question is, do we know how to do that?
We're not going to talk about how to do tone plays today. Yeah, we're not. That's a different. That's different. But
In summary, what are they? Oh, sure. In summary, what are they? What are
yeah, I'll tell you guys what a tone play is for those that don't know. And those that do, maybe you might get an extra layer of understanding with tone plays. Tone plays involves taking the melody pattern from one song and recreating the melody pattern of another song using elements from your initial song. It's as simple as that. You can tone play with the bass line, you can tone play with the melodies, you can tone play with lyrics, you can tone play with vocals, you can tone play with almost anything. Just get creative and make sure your execution is well. But as far as tone plays go, in the context of making content, the way I like to think about tone play transitions, try to identify songs that have percussive melodies. Like songs that the melodies are very distinct and it feels like they're played on like a drum, right? Because those songs, they give you clean notes. So you can take one note and then use that to create a tone play transition. Sorry, we're probably going to talk more about tone play transitions some other time, but that's the idea there. Let's keep moving. And then finally, how to get ideas apart from just listening to music. What I do, one of my favorite things to do, if you go on my YouTube history, it's only DJ sets. I listen to DJ sets all the time. This is DJ sets. You can get a lot of ideas from hearing other DJs play, whether that's in person or whether that's online. But thankfully these days, a lot of people are doing shit online. So you can almost find a new set to watch every single day. So go online, watch DJs play. There's so much to learn. But also, go out to other DJs events in person in Austin. There's so many people in the room throw beautiful events in Austin. Sometimes I go just to hear the DJs play. Some of the people I love to listen to actually here. We don't name drop, but I love going out to hear DJs play because I know that I can learn from them. Next slide. Okay. Next slide is on capturing and testing your ideas. So, my personal strategy, I keep a note in my phone that I use to write every single idea that I have. It doesn't matter if it works, but once I have an idea, I'm going to write it down. And where I get most of my ideas is from listening to other DJs, in all honesty. Sometimes it's from listening to music, sometimes I might be in the shower, but most times it's actually from listening to other DJs play. And I'm like, maybe I could. And then I write it down. But make sure you write down your ideas or you could forget it. Okay, next thing, experiment at home. I wish I could have put home in caps. Do not experiment outside. Especially when you're trying to be creative. Experiment at home. Experiment at home. Very important. But yeah, put your ideas down. Go home. Practice those ideas. If it works, great. If it doesn't, life goes on. And finally, just keep iterating. The more ideas you have, the better chances you have of actually creating something. So always make sure you write those ideas down, right? And that will probably increase your chances of executing something beautiful. Next slide. Okay. Let's take it a little step further. Now we have ideas. Now we want to make the content. So I like to think about when I have my ideas, how simple I can make it for myself, so execute that idea. Sometimes I create like complex routines that might involve a lot of transitions, might involve a lot of scratching, might involve a lot of techniques. One of the things that I do is I try to like put them all on one track, so I'm not having to like go into my laptop and then like load up a new track and then have to do what I have to do. It's long, it's hard, it's gonna make your routine not as seamless as it would be. So help yourself. Think about what would make performing that routine or executing that idea as seamless as possible. So I like to say use Serato. Sometimes I create my routine audio in Serato, so I would like record, right? I will hit record, take the tracks that I need to execute my ideas, record the parts that I need, record every single thing that I need, and then sing it on the one track, and then go set my cues. Makes it so easy for me. I never have to go look at my laptop while I'm making content because everything is laid out for me.
I don't think I understood.
Okay. I'll explain a little further. So, say I wanted to make, I had an idea of a routine that I was going to make that involved 6 different songs. I do that quite often, maybe like 6, might even be more. I don't want to have to load up 6 different songs every single time.
Yeah.
It's long, it would probably extend the length of your routine because you want to get to your ideas quickly and seamlessly, right? So what I will do is I'll just go into Serato, right? I'll hit record just like I'm recording a DJ set, just like I'm recording myself play. I'll go into the songs, find the parts of the song that I need, and just record it all on one track. And once it's all recorded, I set my cues, right? So use your cue points, set all the cues on the parts that you need.
On the recording?
On the, yes, once it's recorded,
Okay.
on the saved recorded.
Okay.
So now what you have is routine audio. You have routine audio that has all the cues that are important, that you need. Therefore, I don't have to go back to like load up songs every single time I need to play a different song. It's all on one track.
Oh, okay.
Right? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our routine audio now. It's all about performing. So I like to say, show character, actually perform what you're doing. Like, even if you're just mixing 2 songs, like dance or something, like interact, right? No one really wants to see a DJ just looking down, doing their mixes, especially when you want to get engagement out of your content. So make sure you perform whatever you have prepared, right? Equipment, you can choose whatever you want to use. I only have this because this is what I use personally. I like to think about like videos complement audio. Think about how you can get creative with your videos, especially when you have a great idea. If you have a really good idea, think about how the visuals can make that idea better. So I use 2 cameras just to get 2 different angles so I can like go back and forth. Makes it look cool, like a music video, right? So I use the Insta360 X4, it's a 360 camera, and then I also have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Both cameras are, I want to say, in the $500 range, and they're perfect for my use cases. I only have these here for what I do, but please feel free to use your phones. Your phones are very functional these days. There's so many ways to get scrappy, but make sure you're getting your ideas out and quickly. Next slide. Whew. Editing content. This is the worst part. I hate this. But I'll talk to you guys about my workflow. I use CapCut. Anybody else use CapCut here? Cool. I think CapCut for me is one of the most user-friendly editing softwares out there, but it is also very powerful. Like, the amount of things that you can do with CapCut is actually insane. And CapCut is compatible with both your phones and your laptop, so you can go between projects. The same project you have saved on your laptop can be accessed on your phone as well. So I love that about CapCut. And then another very important point, make sure you replace the audio that you get from your video with the audio that you get out of your DJ software. Make sure you do that. Nobody wants to hear you clicking the crossfader or, I don't know, like background noise. You want the video to feel like it's high quality. And the only way for you to do that is to use the audio that comes directly out of your DJ software. So always make sure you do that. Make sure you replace. I mean, there are cases where you want to get like background sounds, just turn it down. turn it down to the point where the actual audio from the DJ software is significantly louder than what you captured in the background. And then finally, I know some of my DJ friends tend to outsource editing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't think editing is a core DJ skill. I think it's helpful. I think it's something that will benefit you as a DJ because having the power to do everything by yourself end to end is very important. So you have your ideas, you execute your ideas all the way from your head up onto the decks, to your laptop, to your phone, whatever you're editing, and then to social media. You have full control over that. But feel free to outsource, or feel free to learn. Feel free to look for somebody that knows how to edit videos and learn from them, right? Next slide, John. Cool. Posting. Now we have a video, we have our content ready. Use social media creator tools. These days, the likes of Instagram, TikTok, they make it so easy for creators because they want creators to keep posting. It's a cycle. And they've provided tools for us to understand how engagement works with the people that follow us. So make sure you know when your followers are most active and take advantage of that. Post when your followers are most active because you want to get the most engagement. So it makes sense, right? So yeah, post during peak engagement. Actively engage with your comments. Sometimes I'm guilty of this myself. Like I will post and just shut my mind and never go back to what I posted and not really respond to comments. But most times I actually make myself, every single person that takes the time out of the day to make a comment on your post, make sure you're engaging with that person. And then finally, consistency. That's the game. Unfortunately, you have to keep doing it. That's what yields result. Consistency. Keep doing it. You don't always have to do complex routines all the time. Sometimes just mix two songs together and post it. And you never know, that might be what yields the most results for you. Right? Next slide, John. Cool. So, like I said, consistency brings results. With each cycle, you keep getting better. You become faster. So I think one of the things I try to do these days is I time myself. So I try to get my ideas to being video ready within 30 minutes. If it's more than 30 minutes, I'll come back to it the next day. I don't want to spend too much time getting my ideas out. Sometimes we try to be perfect, but we're all our biggest critics, as we like to say. But perfection is not the goal. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. So, in whatever you're doing, make sure you're getting better. Nobody cares to see who's perfect. Nobody knows everything about DJing. Not a single person knows every single thing about DJing. So make sure it's all about progress and not perfection. And yeah, with each cycle, you start to see that your skills get better. People start to engage more. People see the consistency. People start to resonate with your content. People start to look forward to your content. And that's great. And finally, let's have some questions. But that's all I have for you guys today.
Question. So when you talk about consistency, how frequent would you say you should post as a DJ?
If you ask somebody that worked at TikTok or Instagram, they'll tell you to post multiple times a day. I don't think that's reasonable at all. I don't think that's feasible. I like to say try to post as much as you have ideas. If that's weekly, if that's twice a week, if that's monthly. But the thing is the more you get into it, the more you start to enjoy it, and the more frequent, and the more you start to frequently post it, right? But there's no one size fits all as far as posting goes. Any other questions? or you can just go and drink it.
What platform? What platform would you say is best to post on?
Instagram.
And for what reasons?
Instagram, because with Instagram, a lot of people tend, you know what? Actually, I will take a step back. It depends on what you want, right? I think myself personally, I can only share what has worked for me, and take this with a grain of salt. I prefer posting on Instagram because the reach that I get with Instagram feels significantly better than what I get on TikTok, right? It might be the reverse for some people. But for me with Instagram, it feels like most of my community is on Instagram. Most of the people that I know, when I meet people, we don't exchange TikToks, we exchange Instagram. So when I meet people, I want people to see the work that I'm doing. And if it looks good, hopefully they share it and more people start to see it. And I think most parties, right, most brands build most of their identity on Instagram, right? When we promote parties, when we post, it's usually on Instagram, right? So I'm clearly a little biased towards Instagram, but if your long game is social media, then TikTok will work as well. Well, I think it's definitely between those two.
You also said something about replacing with like the audio that you recorded from Serato. I've seen people comment things like, so the sex is pre-recorded, it's not original because they can't hear anything in the background, they can't hear that strike, they can't hear that thinking. What else could you say?
I think, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all. If you record, so, you know, the idea is to like record the video from your camera.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Have you seen all those fake DJ videos?
I've seen people be like, oh, this is pre-recorded, this is pre-recorded, right? But within, like, if you know that you've recorded, like you recorded the video, like this is content that we're talking about. We're not talking about DJ sets, right? We're talking about content that we made and post on social media. You record the video to your camera obviously captures audio. You record in your DJ software, that gets audio, right? The idea is to use the audio that is most clean and most professionally sounding, which is obviously the audio that comes out of your DJ software, because there's no background, there's no background sounds in the video, right? So there are some times where like you might want to like maybe like if I was getting content while playing the DJ set and maybe the mic was on and I wanted to like capture like the crowd reacting, it's different, right? Because you actually want people to hear like the screams and all of that. So I kind of like turn that all the way down. So it varies. But the idea is that if the audio is in sync, I don't think there's anybody in their right mind to come and tell me that my shit is fake. And if they do, then it's whatever.
I think that's the problem. Talking about people on the internet, half of them aren't in the right, right? Because the people that are complaining and saying, "Oh, he recorded it, do his thing, and why can't I hear the click on the button?"
Oh yeah, guys,
ignore them.
that shit does not matter at all.
Trolls,
It does not matter. Yes, it does not matter at all. I keep.
What type of DJ content do you feel gets the most engagement?
I like routines. Obviously, like I'm slightly biased because I'm a turntablist. So I like routines that show creativity and skill and are very musical. So fundamentally, I want people to see that I'm doing a lot of things on the turntable, but I want people to be able to understand it sonically. Right? Like I want them to understand that, oh, this dude did that and it sounds that good. I might not know how he achieved it, but it just sounds good. I'm not really a fan of like being technical just for the sake of being technical. Technical can never be more important than being musical in my world. Some other DJs might say otherwise, but that's what I believe.
I got a question off of that question. What other kind of content would you say there is? Or what other kind of content have you seen?
I've got something that kind of supports that
Okay.
question as well, and I don't know if it answers it. But I think what Sean's also talking about, as he said it earlier, is what works best for him. Technically, there's a bunch of different types of content you could post. For example, G-Nice does Yokolongo does vibes on live, which is more long film, like kind of a selection, not selection, selection slash No, what's the word?
Apartment
What's the word?
life.
It's like apartment life.
Apartment life type vibes. You got Culture FM, who do the YouTube Afrobeat sets. So, what kind of content works best? It doesn't matter. Oh, we got a superstar that does content in the building. No, that's and actually, I don't know about to redirect the question about TikTok and Instagram. So give me a second.
So I've seen some people do behind the scenes too, like getting ready for a gig.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes you get engagement out.
Knowledge.
Yes.
Tips, knowledge.
Yes.
Behind the scenes. Like I
Bloopers.
started doing tips here at Dub, and it went crazy. Like, hey, top 3 tips for new upcoming DJs. Hey, new gear comes out.
Yes.
I started doing reviews. I started doing that.
Yes.
And that shit went crazy. And it really doesn't
Yes.
take a lot, and it can build your following.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
just one example. But
And I think the overall answer is there's no one answer.
Correct.
It's what works best for you.
Right.
Half the time, I'm guessing you're not gonna know what works best for you until you just try different
Just
things.
experiment.
Exactly.
See what gets the best.
Exactly.
I have a friend whose most viewed video on TikTok was while he was setting up and his speakers nearly fell down and he caught it.
Right.
He recorded that and posted it on TikTok and it got like hundreds
the
of
one I got the
thousands.
most of, I brought my daughter out. It went crazy, like 10,000. Anything that shows your personality, shows you being human, shows not. Anything that's behind the scenes, behind the curtain. People love that shit.
I think Rick hit the nail on the head though. It's about authenticity. Because I can tell when it's some shit that you just want to do to try to get some views. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's really about authenticity and doing what makes sense to you.
Yes. You guys have said it all. Johnny.
KC.
Come on, Casey.
As one of the more active content creators in the movement.
Wow.
That's
For sure.
We all can see it. We all see it.
What platforms have been most effective for you and for what reasons?
TikTok, of course. Honestly, I think it just depends on what the algorithm is doing that day. I've seen success posting early in the morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Most people wake up and they scrolling. That's when they're first seeing, content for the day. They get to sharing it, commenting, and it gets, engagement and it's spread across, the algorithm. So TikTok for me. And I have seen success posting at 5 p.m. or 9 p.m. It just depends. So just experimenting, really.
I'm sorry to delve further. Are you in what Shaw mentioned? Are you actually, because I'm not super familiar with TikTok, Instagram I know it will tell you the best times to post and that kind of stuff. Are you looking at that kind of data for TikTok?
I'm not, honestly. I just post.
I've heard people say it doesn't matter what time on TikTok.
Well, I guess you guys can disregard what I said. Just disregard that slide. We're gonna put an X on it.
Not for Instagram.
It matters.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, guys, there is no one size fits all. Don't forget. I probably should have put that on there. But yeah, like what works for somebody would work for the next person.
What you said, what's your goal?
Yeah, exactly. It's what's your goal. I think back to the start of the presentation, what I'm most passionate about is creating an identity and a unique brand in the type of content that I put out. So I have my standards. Obviously, that's going to vary by DJ, right? Well, thank you guys for sharing everything that works. Anybody want to share anything related to the topic today for the room? Posting content, creating content, getting your ideas out.
Oh, I have something that I don't know if anyone
Alright, come on down.
Cool. Creating content, doing it, getting views, getting notification. Getting acknowledged and whatnot, creativity. Does anyone here honestly monetize any of the content that they do?
I mean, can you do that?
There was a stretch for me on Instagram that I did. They were allowing you to, and then they took it away.
Yeah, like you using copyright.
Now, I did get a Facebook notification recently where they're like, you are now approved to be monetized on Facebook.
Yes.
Facebook and YouTube is probably the biggest monetized
Yeah.
platform.
But YouTube for music, they be
Well,
copyright.
You need
It just
to
depends on
license it.
YouTube is a finesse game. It's like you gotta be able to do shit a certain kind of way, like as a DJ, to be able to get your stuff off, like content wise and monetization wise. But there's ways around it. You just gotta. It's just a big finesse game on YouTube.
Patreon, OnlyFans.
You can make your content on there.
OnlyFans? I mean,
that was definitely joking. I was joking, he wasn't joking. People actually use Patreon and OnlyFans to subscribe.
I definitely know about Patreon. Patreon for sure. Patreon is one of the sides of
Actually, OnlyFans as well. People actually have
That's fair.
Twitch too.
Anybody?
Twitch for sure. Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, maybe for the future we could invite Henrietta because I know he pretty much streams every single event that he does on TikTok, and he will say quite regularly that he'll have more viewers on the stream than in the club. And my son also creates content on TikTok. I know that they make money off TikTok from creators and people sending money, and actually also once you reach a certain level from just the views that you get, you generate certain levels of income. So
and then you get an affiliate as well.
Yeah, see, again, I'm not sure, but again, I just wanted to raise the conversation and the awareness around it. And as I said, maybe we can get Elliot to come and
Yes. You know, like, one of the things we said when we started this is we want this to be a community where we come together and share. This is my experience that I've shared with you all. I'm looking forward to learn from each and every single one of you. That would involve streaming. That would involve playing nice, beautiful house sets. There's so much that we can learn from each other, right? But this is my slice of the pie. This is my story. This is what has worked for me, and this is what I think I'm going to be doing moving forward. But moving forward, I look forward to learning from every single one of you today. And with that, I conclude my demo.
So actually, leading from that, is there anything that any of y'all would either like to talk about specifically in presents, or just topics you would like to hear about so we can try and source the correct and appropriate people to talk about it, if that makes sense? And what would you like to see in the future sessions? That's your question.
I feel like I would like to discuss the different ways that you can be a DJ and like the different types of settings you can play in, because I feel like the clubs are cool, but they're not hitting the way that we want them to a lot of times. I feel like the landscape is changing, so I would love to have a conversation about like the types of spaces and places you can play in and types of events you can do as a DJ.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and that kind of concurs again with even, I guess, so to be
Curated parties. Everybody's doing curated parties.
Versus
Genre specific parties. You see it all the time. R&B this.
Yes.
2000s that. You know, is the club dying? Do people even go out want to go to the club anymore? Do they just want to go to a specific party where it's going to be that they know what they're going to get, right? You know, you see it all the time. You have promoters now that take their parties to different venues.
Yes.
Are people following just those promoters? Are they following Jam's parties? Are they following those parties? Or are they still just going out? You know, I went out when we were,
you know, like under what it is that you do. I think that's probably one of the best ways as far as like knowing where you want to be as a DJ or a producer, artist, or performing DJ, whatever you want to be. But that's something I didn't notice though. It seems like it's just like a huge Wild Wild West type of vibe with DJing right now. Like everybody's doing everything.
who in here DJs for more than 4 hours for their sets?
You had
No.
Who does like regularly or
Regularly DJs for 4 or more hours, not 1 hour and they got 3-4 other
in front of people or in your house?
In front of people.
I like it. If you get booked, you're the only DJ on the bill. Who in here does this?
I've done it before. I was tired as hell.
So the days of full 4 or 5 hour sets over for DJs, creating a vibe from beginning to end, or is it always 3, 4, 5 DJs on every situation? Depending on who it's on.
Yes, she does.
I think it depends on the genre, because house music can go for hours. Like, you know, disco can go for a minute.
Okay. But from opening to close, DJ, right?
Yeah.
How often do we see that anymore? Jim, when was the last time you were the only DJ on the bill for 4 or 5 hours?
Me?
On Monday?
Yesterday.
In a nightclub. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying I'm just asking.
Hold on. Why is there only there's 3 or 4 DJs, or compared to what he's saying, a 4-hour
I have
show.
an answer for that.
I know, but why is that?
Because
Answer the
there's
question.
way many more DJs than there were a couple years ago.
True.
The barrier to entry to DJ is so low now.
No,
you need
but
to
that's
realize.
always been around.
No, I don't believe
Having
that.
multiple DJs
I don't agree with that. There was never one
The
a
question
couple
is
years
why?
ago.
Why?
Because the DJs
Because there's so
promote
many
it.
DJs now.
Because the
No.
DJs
Yeah.
promote it. It's because the DJs to promote it.
It's no, and also these promoters want more people. If I bring her, I bring Jam,
Right.
I bring all
Bring more value.
They're thinking that more people can show.
Correct.
That's the biggest issue, right? Yeah.
Correct, but there's also way
It's
more
not a bad
DJs
thing.
in circulation now as opposed to a couple years ago. The barrier to entry to DJing is so low now. These days, all you have to do is buy a Rev 1, practice, maybe post a video on TikTok, and you get booked. Because they want more reach. They feel like, I book this DJ, they can probably bring X more people to my event. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I love seeing new DJs. And I feel like we DJs, we need to be open to the idea that the barrier for entry to DJing is going to keep going down. People are DJing on their phones now. What you need to focus on is how much people want to see me DJ. The rest of everything is noise. And the rest, I like to see, I think about it positively. It's collaboration, working with other DJs, bring out their friends, whatever. But we need to be open to the idea. But anyways, I'll end this with one more thing, right? Jamin, I know we never talked about this, but this community has no name. And I felt like 4 people giving us a name didn't feel that inclusive. But we obviously want this to be a thing that happens frequently amongst ourselves. There's so much knowledge in this room alone. I'm sure if we took turns every single month assigning one DJ to give a talk, we would run out of we would not run out of ideas for probably 2 years. We would keep going. There's so much knowledge in circulation. That's one of the reasons why this is going on. We want to learn from each other, right? Jumping, anything else?
2 things. Well, 3 things maybe. Did everybody sign up on Pi? Or did if you didn't sign up on
Please
Pi,
do.
put your hands up.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I say that to say, if you sign up on Pi, I can send you a message after this with regards to what the next one is, and we can even use that as a chat to talk about what ideas we might want to see, or ideas for names of the group. I call it higher learning because, again, I don't know, maybe I want to watch that movie again. I was going to higher learning because I was like, fuck it, it's whatever. It's about trying to learn and learn from each other. But I can get you into that,
Yes.
so I'll send you a link for that kind of. Second thing I was going to say, coming back to the 4-hour DJ sets. From my experience of being in Austin about 10 years now, it was very normal for one DJ to do a 4-hour set that he really liked. That was just normal, like how clubs book DJs. However, for me, coming from England and coming from going to different types of parties, whether it's grime, whether it's house and garage, whether it's hip hop, whether it's an R&B party, whether it's everything in one party, it was quite common to see just 1-hour sets. So it might seem like in Austin now for me, it's more common where a DJ might only do an hour set or 2-hour set, but I think it's something that's happened over the world in different places and different genres and different scenes for years. You know, I'm sure most house sets, like you said, Sean, are going to be a bit longer, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-hour sets. So I'm kind of even just echoing what Sean said. To me, I completely think being able to DJ for 4 hours and more is a skill set that we should all actually definitely strive to have. But you should also have your showcase 1-hour set where you fuck shit up for an hour, or better yet, even more importantly, you warm up the party for an hour without fucking playing all the rappers to actually set the mood for the party. Because these are also very important skills in terms of a party.
Yes.
Coming back to what Sean said, it's not about most of the time, and what I will try to, and I'm trying better to tell people that I work with, it's not about you. It's not about us, it's about the party. We've got to understand we're trying to build the party, have a crescendo, and keep that energy up for as long as we can. And it's okay to not understand that. because I had to learn it. I had to make mistakes in doing it to be able to do it and to see when other people are not necessarily doing it. So again, just it's more so being aware, thinking of putting the party or the event first, and yeah, just kind of thinking out loud.
Cheers, Jared. In the interest of time, please go see DJ Grip. Actually, can we give a round of applause for DJ Grip? DJ Grip made this possible because we were thinking about having to rent a place and pay all that crap ton of money. But DJ Grip said, come to Dub Academy. This is the home for DJs. So we want you guys to feel like that. If you want to go see the rest of Dub Academy, please go see DJ Grip. He'll personally give you a tour of the amazing studios that we have back there. But right now, we're going to have a Windex. If you have your laptops, your USB sticks, feel free to pick a station and let's have fun. There's food, there's drinks. And yeah, make sure you meet somebody new today. Make sure you leave knowing every single person's name here. Right? Thank you guys.
I mean, you